Hello, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Matiha Malik and I am the President of Eating Disorders Association for Pakistan.
And I am Aisha Hashmi, the Vice President for Eating Disorders Association of Pakistan.
As you all know that we have been running a very massive campaign on the Action Day, celebrated as Eating Disorder Day on 2nd June of every year. So this year the theme was research, equity for research for eating disorders and equity for research fundings across the globe for eating disorders. So we thought of doing an analysis which was basically a systematic review analysis of the literature already published in Asia in order to identify and evaluate that what are the gaps which has been left in the research which needs to be conducted for highlighting the issue of eating disorder across Asia. So now the first thing was that why we choose Asia. Actually, being the researchers from Asia, specifically Southeast Asia, we decided that these are the region where eating disorder is the most misunderstood, underdiagnosed, and not acknowledged area of research, as well as of an issue due to different sorts of social stigmas, due to which very limited research has been conducted in Asia, and this issue has not been given the full advocacy and full you can say the acknowledgement campaign across the region. So we decided that we need to see that how the issue of eating disorder is rising in Asia. So in the past, eating disorders were characterized as an illness that affected only young, white or affluent women. But with the passage of time, research has witnessed that the syndrome and the symptoms of anorexia, bulimia, and even the binge disorder are also common in men as well as women of any age group or of any diverse race or ethnicity or the culture or belonging from any economic backgrounds. So they are among the most lethal of psychiatric illnesses, with estimated mortality rate ranging from 0.3% to as high as 20% in Asia. The interventions that occur earlier in the course of certain eating disorders have been related to improved outcomes, but unfortunately they have not been witnessed very aggressively in Asia.
We have seen through a systematic review that a few studies have been conducted in the Asia region, but they are of very prime importance. Basically, almost 2 studies have been conducted in the Russia part of Asia, whereas most studies have been conducted by the Arab countries, with Saudi Arabia have conducted about 13 studies on eating disorders. South Asia is on second number in the whole Asian region, with China conducted almost 20 studies, and Pakistan has almost conducted 17 studies in the past 1 decade. In the third region among the Asian countries, Southeast Asian region have been more conducting research more on eating disorders, with Malaysia reported to conduct almost 12 studies in the past decade, whereas the Korean region has conducted a very low number of studies. Almost 3 to 5 studies have been conducted by Japan and Korea.
So if we look at that, what were the themes or what were the major areas on which these research were conducted, specifically with the focus of eating disorders in Asia? So we identified that there were 40 studies which were conducted as a CAP studies in assessing the knowledge, attitude and perception of the community. However, 10 studies which were CAP in nature were conducted to assess the knowledge of healthcare professionals regarding eating disorders, while 61 studies in Asia were conducted on assessing the prevalence, as well as they were upon the issue of screening, while 15 studies were published as systematic review on the research conducted in Asia.
The major themes of these research studies were mostly body dissatisfaction, disordered eating behavior, disordered eating attitudes, and mainly different types of eating disorders. And the major types of eating disorders studied were anorexia, binge eating disorder, bulimia, and orthorexia.
So now we're going to discuss few main highlights of the studies conducted in different regions of the Asia. So starting with the research conducted on eating disorders in Middle East. There was a study conducted in Kuwait which highlighted that approximately 28% of the sample was at the risk for eating pathology. Majority of the individuals were dissatisfied with their current muscle mass and body fat. However, individuals dissatisfied with their muscularity and body fat had significantly referred to as issues in eating attitudes. Students were also identified as a major group who were at higher risk of eating disorders. While there was another study in the Middle East region which was conducted and which reported that women with normal and underweight had higher chances of developing eating disorders and restricted oral control behaviors. There was another study which was basically conducted in Jordan which revealed that majority of the students believed that the young women struggle with body image. However, additionally 14% reported that they have or currently are suffering from eating disorder. And other study conducted in Middle East highlighted the need of projection for eating disorder by media, as there were lack of education, resources and culture were the major barriers for the reason of diagnosis or underreported issue of eating disorder specifically in the Middle East.
Whereas a lot of studies have been conducted in Turkey, in which majority studies highlighted that majorly students group again in Turkey had orthorexia and other eating disorders, whereas Turkish women had a higher prevalence of eating disorders as compared to males, and those individuals with a history of trauma were more prone to develop eating disorders. Another study in Turkish students revealed that females again had a more negative perception about their body image as well as higher levels of depression. And another study was conducted especially in school counselors to check their knowledge regarding eating disorders, and it was identified that almost half of the school counselors correctly identified the cases of eating disorders among students. And another study conducted in Turkish nursing students concluded that psychological status, self-esteem, economic level and the place of residence of nursing students may be the potential factors for development of eating disorders.
Now, if we talk about the other countries specifically or in Middle East, like as far as Saudi Arabia is concerned, that a good number of studies have been conducted in Saudi Arabia, which reported that high risk eating disorder was significantly higher among the females, and it was highest found among the age group of 22 years or above, and those who had specifically in students who had a GPA more than 2.49, and among those who were obese as compared to the underweight. Similarly, different studies reported that the highest rate of eating disorders among underweight students, whereas the lowest rate was reported among obese students by the other studies which were conducted in Saudi Arabia. And eating disorder were more prevalent in the people who believe that in the obese people as compared to slimmer people. More than half of the participants in different studies they say that they were pressured by the social media to be slim and perceive that social media is one of the reasons for them to go to gym or have these eating disorder symptoms. Similarly, a few other studies were conducted in UAE, and they highlighted that 33% of the people had mild to moderate concerns about their body shape, and women students were significantly more concerned about their shape and more influenced by media as compared to men. And disordered eating attitudes are positively correlated with the body image dissatisfaction and negatively correlated with body image ideals.
Whereas studies in the Southeast Asian region such as Malaysia highlighted that the results highlighted that 6.3% were susceptible to eating disorders, and a significant positive relationship was found between depression and eating disorders, and a negative relationship between body image and depression as well as between body image and eating disorders. And it was observed that students with low self-esteem were more prone to anorexic behavior, and younger students with low self-esteem were more vulnerable to development of anorexia and other eating disorders. And another study reported that mostly medical students and undergraduate students were under stress, and they had a more inclination towards development of eating disorders. Whereas in Thailand, it was seen that medical students were reported to have atypical attitudes towards eating and displayed abnormal eating behaviors, and their eating attitudes and behaviors were associated with a higher body mass index. And another study which was conducted in all the Asian countries revealed that 11.5 students across all countries were classified as being at risk for an eating disorder, in which almost 20.6% prevalence was reported in Myanmar.
And if we talk about Taiwan, there was different studies conducted in Taiwan which reported disturbed eating attitudes and behavior in 10.4% of the participants of these studies. However, they reported that the intake of carbohydrates, cholesterol, zinc, and vitamin were significantly lower in the people who had been diagnosed with eating disorder patterns. However, disturbed eating pattern individuals had higher dietary and crude fiber intake as compared to those who were not having any disturbed eating patterns.
Whereas a study in the South Korean region revealed that disturbed eating patterns and attitudes were observed in almost 7% of the students.
Now, if we talk about China, as most of the studies conducted in South Asia were from China, so the studies conducted in China highlighted that Chinese students were at higher risk for eating disorders, and they were equivalent to about like 2.17%. However, eating disorder risks were more frequent in students with poor parents' relationship, or they were having higher body mass index, of students who were excessively forced for slimming, and they had been high on dieting and all that kind of attitudes, while they were the students who perceived like body dissatisfaction and were more associated with disorders or eating disorders. However, there were other studies which also highlighted that the symptoms of eating disorders were more prominent in individuals living in urban residents and those who were having a better qualification as compared to those from the rural areas and with lower literacy rate.
And if we have a closer look at other countries in South Asia, a study conducted in Iran focused on assessing the prevalence of eating disorders, and the results highlighted that 24.2% were at risk of eating disorder, with 14 cases of anorexia nervosa and 18 cases of bulimia. Whereas another study revealed that the prevalence of eating disorders was 11.5%, in which again the majority of the cases were of bulimia nervosa, followed by binge eating disorder. Whereas in India a study conducted in India highlighted inadequate knowledge regarding eating disorders among adolescent girls, and the history of abnormal eating among adolescent girls had significant association with the level of knowledge on eating disorders and age, educational status, family history of eating disorders, and the source of information. Whereas 2 to 3 studies have been conducted in Nepal till now, where the results of the study highlighted that more than 50% of the students had inadequate knowledge regarding the eating disorders, and almost a quarter of the students were screened to have an eating disorder in Nepal.
Now, if we talk about Pakistan specifically, there are almost 17 studies which have been conducted in Pakistan on different issues related to eating disorders till date. However, most of the studies conducted in Pakistan are based upon assessment of prevalence of eating disorder, and most of them are conducted among the medical students. So there was a significant fraction of medical students who are at risk of developing eating disorders, specifically females more prone as compared to males in Pakistan. But there exists a relationship. It was also found that a relationship exists between eating disorder risk and depressions, and females were found more depressed and having more eating disorder issues as compared to males in Pakistan. Moderate binge eating disorder has been reported among the obese individuals, but binge eating disorder cases most of the times goes unreported and undiagnosed in Pakistan, and binge eating disorder was seen more commonly among the students and non-smokers in Pakistan. And high prevalence of eating disorder was also observed in diabetic and more commonly in type 2 diabetic patients in Pakistan. So as a conclusion, after looking at the study findings across Asia, we have been able to summarize it as that most of the studies done on prevalence shows that the age group which is more prone to eating disorders in Asia are the students, and more commonly the females, and those with having higher education background, and those residing in urban areas. These might be due to the major challenges related to more access to high carbonated drinks, or high culture carbohydrate food which is being different options which have been available in the urban areas. And if we talk about more commonly, anorexia and bulimia are common among the people in Asia, having these two eating disorders more common in Asia. However, binge eating disorder is also common, but very few studies have been conducted in assessing binge eating disorder among the people. So on the basis of this, what we suggest is that there lies a great, I think there is a great void which needs to be summed up by conducting more research in Asia, because there need to be more comparative studies and which needs to be done in Asia across different countries, having or the impact of religion and specifically fasting on eating disorders. And then there should be more studies which needs to be conducted on screening practices for eating disorders and how the patients are being managed by managed for their eating disorders in these countries, because we have not found almost any study which has been conducted on the management of eating disorders in this in specifically in different countries in Asia. And we also would like to identify that how basically Asia and the first world, the Europe, what are the different barriers or what are the major risk factors, how they are different for eating disorders across the globe, across the different continents. And so I think that the major challenge for conducting research in this country, in these countries, specifically the Asian country, is the barrier to funding for equity to eating disorders in the country. In most of the countries, the problem of eating disorder has not been well recognized and well perceived by the regulator and the funding agencies. So I think that this year theme of Eating Disorder Action Day is really embarks a symbol that we need to focus, and we need to convince our regulators and funders to identify the major challenge of lack of funding for eating disorder in Pakistan. And we look forward that as a research group we would be collaborating with different researchers across Asian countries as well as across globe to generate evidence-based data on eating disorders, to enrich the literature which has already been available is available in on eating disorders across the world, but is not you can say is not enough, which help us to devise further interventions for addressing the issue of eating disorder in Pakistan. Thank you very much, and we just want to say that equity to research on eating disorder, and we hope that do act now.